Hello, good afternoon. I'm echoing.
Echo.
Hello? Hello? I know, but I can hear me, it's so mad. David Moyes has just done his press conference, the first one at Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Yes.
Ahead of Brighton. Was asked some interesting questions. One of them was about transfers. He was asked whether money was indeed an issue.
He said it wasn't.
He said it wasn't an issue. So when you hear that, does that make you more enthused to think, well, at least that's out the way? I'm not saying we on business with blame, we chatted about it, and we think we both come up with the thing, money, it won't be money, so it isn't the issue.
And we recorded that before the manager said that it's not. Yeah.
But and other people have said that as well, of course.
Well, we've said it months ago.
Money's not, money wouldn't be the thing. So does it enthuse you sort of going into the final 10 days, whatever it is, at the window? Is it? 10. And does it also leave a question of, well, why haven't we got someone?
It doesn't enthuse me at all.
Okay.
Because if you start from my starting place, which is, and we talked about it months upon months ago, right? Money shouldn't be the issue. Okay, so the manager says it's not the issue, but we knew that already. But we've still not delivered the outcomes that he needs.
Yeah.
So what is going to change in the next 2 weeks compared to the last 2 weeks to get what the manager needs over the line? Now, if that is, stop being, Mr. Hard-Nosed and pay the extra 50p, then okay, fair dues. And maybe that was always part of the plan. We'll push it, and then we'll flake.
Yeah.
That's never a good plan, right? The danger is, and I think we've talked about this previously, either on this or on some of the other shows, is if we end up next week or even the week after getting the player, or at least the player in the position the manager wants, and we go, ooh, we paid a bit much there. That's because we didn't do it 2 weeks ago, isn't it? Or partially, perhaps, right? So it doesn't get easier. Yeah. Time is always a pressure. You've heard me talking bull forever a day about, I've been a negotiator for many years. I always make time the other guy's problem, not yours. And we are right in the heart now of time as our problem, not the selling club's problem. If Southampton on the dibbling thing, if they're comfortable selling him on the last day to somebody who might get a bit of slightly better deal, then it probably won't be to us. Because there'll be another attraction for the player, apart from the fact he doesn't want to be at Southampton by the sounds of it. Yeah. But no, I'm not enthused just because the manager says money's not an issue, because I think he alluded to that when we were in the States anyway, didn't he? He said we were stalling in some departments, and those departments were crystal clear to me. You don't have to name names to know that it's in the closure part, right? We know what we need. We've probably got a list of names. We need to work on it, and we need to get deals over the line. I don't see the manager saying what he said changes anything. It's still about outcome, and it's still about delivery, and it's still on the same people's shoulders. So let's see.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting, wasn't it? Because he was asked about why he thought Everton hadn't got players in.
Yeah.
And he basically said, maybe we're going for players that are too good to come here at the moment.
Quite possibly,
or feel they're too good to come
Quite
here.
possibly.
There's a difference.
That makes the sell harder.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's impossible. Though.
And we might now have to just basically accept what we can get, which is never a great place, is it? Because, I mean, there might be some people who say, well, that's what we should have done. But you surely always got to try to get the best player you can, rather than go and just settle for them.
If we followed an effective process, even if it's only an effective process when you write it down and when you try and execute it, it seems a bit more hard than you thought it was, right? Then you would not be targeting players that you're not going to get, either because you can't afford the fee, or you can't afford their wages, or you can't afford their ambition, right? Yeah. So you have to assume, that everybody we've gone for, we thought we could get them. So then those three levers of the player's ambition, that's the Champions League, Europe rubbish, right? His pay, right? And his club's fee are three different levers. If we look at Dibbling, right? He said he wants to go to Everton, allegedly. So he's not using the I want to play in Europe card. Okay, if he wants to come here, they've done the normal, you shouldn't really do it, but you've done it thing with the agent about how much he'll get paid. We appear to be falling down on giving the club the fee they want.
That's what it looks like.
Right? Now, that's the one that everyone's emotional about. And it's not a player saying no. So forget all the players who said no for whatever reason they said no. And why aren't you getting the players who said yes over the line? Well, if there are only 3 levers, if the player says yes, 2 of them are dealt with, the other one's the fee. Then you have to have a judgment call. Do we want to pay that or not? Now, the danger is that we don't want to pay it, but we will if we have to. But let's do some work in between to try and bring it down. And you talked about Barry and how we dealt quite effectively with getting Barry over the line because he had a release clause and they've got what they want, but not in the shape. And we've talked on the channel about deal shape, right? The deal shape, we talked a number of weeks ago, for Dibbling, doesn't look too difficult for me as a person who's done it in the past. I haven't done it in football, and football seems to think it's different, but ultimately it's just levers and stuff, right? If we haven't done that yet, what's going to change that allows us to do it?
Yeah.
And if I was sitting here, as I am, with the background I've got, I would think, if you could have done it, you'd have done it already. Therefore, if the Dibbling thing gets done, only one of 2 things can happen. 1, we pay Southampton what they want. 2, they settle for something less. Now, that sounds blindingly obvious. But if time is on their side and not on ours, and they keep firing up stalking horses, one of them won't be a stalking horse. It'll be real.
Yeah.
Southampton, might have a real interest from Tottenham, but someone might have thought Crystal Palace was a real interest, and so on. The Hawks in this game will be floating around. A number of weeks ago, the perception was Dibbling wants to come to Everton, right? The clubs are quite close. That deal's going to get done. We'll look elsewhere. Now, the opportunists with a carrot dangle, I don't think you don't have to do much carrot dangling to get the player to join a club that's playing in Europe. You know what I mean? The issue will still be back at Southampton. Now, unless we think Southampton are going to sell a player to Tottenham for less than they would sell him to us, which seems unlikely, then it's all going to come down to money. That's all it is. Money.
I do this thing of like Europe. I do find it a bit.
I think it's less of a bogey than people say.
I think it's a bit. I think what it really means is, unless it's like Champions League, which I get, because they get big kickers as well for playing for the Champions League.
Sure.
I think it's more like if you're in Europe, you're basically very secure. You're not a team who might be fighting.
That's true.
Towards the bottom.
Yeah.
So then players are looking at it's more of a guarantee you're going to be a top half team, or that's what they're thinking. So that's why it's easier to get in the room with them. Champions League's totally different. Of course, I accept that. But I'd be very surprised if someone was like, I'm only going to them because they play in the Conference League on a Thursday night, so I'm not going to you. Do you know what I mean? It might help with everything if there's a bigger package, and then you go, oh, and we're in Europe as well, so you're going to be on show here and this, that, and the other. I get that, but I do still sort of go, yeah, people aren't clamouring to play on a Thursday night.
No.
I think it's more about the clubs who are in Europe have demonstrated last season that a good, solid team that plays near the top,
like Tottenham.
Top end. Yeah, but they're in Champions League. That negates it, doesn't it?
Yeah. But no, it's not always where you finish, is it?
But you look and go, no,
I'm with you.
Teams,
it's sentiment.
It's insurance.
But that's persuasion.
Yeah.
Good salespeople, you sell the future, not the present or the past.
Yeah.
And if your persuasion skills aren't up to convincing a player who's currently playing for a team in the Championship, because you can use Dibbling as a real example simply because he's already committed, apparently, that he's happy to come. But pretend he wasn't, Mate, you're in the Championship. If nothing happens, you'll still be in the Championship. So a bit high and mighty for you to claim you want to play in the Champions League. Or another player, you're a free agent and you want to play in the Champions League. Well, why have you ended up at Leeds then? So it's an easy excuse. Maybe it's a polite way of saying no. Oh, bugger, my club have agreed a fee. You're going to pay me what I asked. The only thing I can think of to say no, other than just no, is Europe.
And that's fine if players aren't.
But that's about knowing the player as well.
Everton are massive to us, but to just some lad either in Europe or somewhere else in the league, you just look and go, the perception is you're fighting relegation every year, even though it isn't the case, is it? When you look at last season, we finished 13th. The season before, we got 48 points. We ended up 15th, I think.
Whatever.
Or 14th, like 15th, whatever it was. But with the other 10 points, we'd have been similar position, 12, 13.
Yeah.
So if you step back from it, you go, well, the last 2 seasons, they've got 48 points. They've been 3 points and 6 points.
There's a false narrative.
Off the top 10 finish kind of thing.
Yeah.
You sort of go, well, really, they're not actually. But for portions of both seasons, we have been in and around. Of course, we have. We were right in the mire till MOYES coming.
The outcomes of those 2 years eventually were sort of okay. It was the journey management, wasn't it? Which is you're floating around the bottom, you're in the bottom, and then when the season's finished, everything's fine. That's what we can't really afford with the transfer window. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because if come next week or the week after, it's all done. You've got you've got more right-sided forwards, and you know what to do with that, and you're happy with them. They're not just he'll do because he's still on the shelf type of thing. But we'll still have the issue about why was the process, right? And so many people in football hide behind football's different, it's all hard and difficult and so on and so forth. Things are always difficult if you do them in a certain way, and in a different way, they might be a lot easier. Right? And I will keep coming back to decisive in your decision making and effective communication, right? But if our lead negotiator is just that, if Nick Hammond is really about, I'm a hard-nosed negotiator, who does the soft stuff? You know,
but wouldn't the club say
who pushes? Bill Kenwright used to get deals over the line he had no right to because they all fell for the smooch or whatever.
He should take 2 weeks longer than he should have.
Well, that's the point. He was poor on time, so deals would go away. He had a mental block when it was 100 grand a week. 100 grand a week, that's ridiculous, right? So deals went nowhere because of that, right? So you've got to have people who are on top of their brief, and they can't operate in a little vacuum either. They have to consult and inform throughout.
We're
right?
obviously, as fans, not happy because we feel like the manager should have more. Well, forget about David Moyes for now.
Our manager should have more resources available to him right now.
But let's move the manager to the side. Us as fans want more, don't we? We want to see a squad where if we do pick up 2 or 3 injuries like we have, we're not going, oh my God, we're going to have to lose him, and him, right? Yeah. But would it not, I'm just playing devil's advocate
I'm not bothered about the squad.
Okay. But would it, you know, playing devil's advocate as Ned used to love, if you step back from
Does he know what it is yet?
I don't know. If you step back from it, the club, would they not say, well, the whole point of it is by the end of the window, because that's what it's for, it's a transfer window, we've give David what he's asked for.
True.
And on September the 1st, when we've got matchsticks here in our eyes because we're just about to finish our 24-hour live stream.
Absolutely, yeah. We need to plan that.
It closes, and it's done, and the deal sheets are in. We look and go, that wasn't a bad window. We've done well. It could have been a bit better because we could have got a player who was even better. Sure. But you look at that and go, I'm quite happy with that transfer window. That's what the club are working towards, aren't they?
Okay, I'll give you...
What you're saying is absolutely right, John, is that we want to get to that stage where we go, really good window, that. But we want that to be August the 5th, don't we?
Yeah, you want a repeatable process, right? And the analogies
we don't want needing 10 plays next summer.
Yeah. The analogies, there's a couple of analogies you can throw out there. One of them is you end the season with 48 points, but you got 20 odd of them in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, 48 points is fine, but not how you got them.
Yeah,
so that's the journey management piece. And the other one would be, which is why the flippant, and of course I care about the squad and stuff like that. Yeah. But if you do this from a planning perspective or a strategic planning perspective, you would say, well, what's the end in mind, right? So the start of the journey is all about gaining points. That's all it is. One objective. Win football points in the Premier League, ideally, right? So we've already missed that target because had we got some deals over the line a bit sooner, who knows what would have happened earlier in the week? Maybe we would have drawn, maybe we would have won, maybe we still would have lost, but we'll never know, right? Yeah. So this thing where we go, we never win points in August, that. I mean, we just had the lad in from Canada, haven't we? Yeah, Scott, who come over and he's saying, I want us to have a season where we play 38 games, not 35. That's damning. So an objective given to the recruitment team in the round, which includes Angus and David and Nick and others, right, can't be, as long as everyone's in post by September the 1st, we've had a good time. No, you haven't. There's got to be timeline objectives as well. So right now, the pressure will become the closing of the window, the time pressure, I mean, rather than our own internal objectives. So if Nick Hammond has been told, you better get a right-sided forward in by the 15th of August, or just pick a random date, and you have failed if you don't do that, he will behave differently than if he's got till the 1st of September. And so therefore, maybe, just maybe, the plan didn't have enough of that kind of stuff in it, i.e. the manager wants everybody to be available for the first game against Leeds United. If we don't deliver on that for one of the players, then we'll have a bit of a drains up in September. But we haven't delivered on it for 3 or 4 players. So it's an, you know.
Chris, I hope that sort of answered your question.
That's a bit long,
to be honest. Barry says, according to Transfer Market, only Aston Villa and Fulham have a smaller squad in the Premier League than us. They have 23, we've got 24. The average is 30, but we have less outfield players than anybody else. So our 3 goalies have took us, made sure we're not the smallest squad.
Well, absolutely, and we knew that a lot of players were leaving, some of whom we were glad to see the back of, others who we knew we wanted to keep because we offered them deals and they said no. Well, there's a flag straight away. The players who were already here thought they could get better elsewhere. Now, we know one of them went for money, and no doubt Dukes himself went for money because he's ended up in Saudi Arabia, right? But it doesn't matter, does it? Saying 20, whatever that chap has just said, of 3 or 4 of them are keepers. Before of them would be keepers, won't they?
Peter, well, at the moment, because Harry Tyra's in there.
Because Tyra's still there,
Peter says, how do I get my £10 voucher in Clubview? And how big a bag can I bring in the store? Well, the bag is A4, no bigger than A4 size. I imagine when you go in, mate,
you'll get your programme and your voucher.
For your street
programmes?
Food. The programme?
This will be it, won't it?
It's the box programme.
This is
Sunday.
It. Get them. Cool. 10
nice,
quid.
Isn't it?
10 quid.
Yeah.
You're in it, aren't you?
Big size. If only.
Sorting about Barry's ambition in here.
Yeah. I thought it was me, and I thought it was just 4 paragraphs on right wingers. Tieno. But they just call him Barry, don't they?
Yeah.
I love that, the fact that he's dismissed that we could call him Tieno, hasn't he?
Has he? He wants to be called Barry.
No, he just said, just call me Barry, it's easy. Well,
all right.
Surely we can say your name, my mate, but that's fine.
There's lots of nice photos in here of the new stadium.
Christopher says, bit disappointing Moyes saying they're going down the list of options as they can't attract the first choice selections.
Sure this isn't about you?
No, picture sort of gives it away, but
well, he aspires to be like you guys. Score lots of goals.
Yeah, I doubt it. Owen says, not great questions there today. No reference to how many positions you're looking at. Could have been asked about a striker position and outgoings, whether anyone was coming in before the weekend or close to being signed. Needed Baz asking.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you know what was interesting? Sorry, just before you do.
Yeah.
The Premier League, lad, nothing against them, but his questions, it was just...
Was he the acoustics one? About the acoustics of the sound?
I don't know, but...
Because that was what I was going to comment on.
I just found it... This is the problem, I think, with some press conferences, right, is that he clearly had 3 questions to ask. And when David Moyes had finished answering his first one, he went to the second. There was no coming back. What do you mean by that? Or what about... His questions were just A, B, C. When he's answered A, B, and then C. It was like... And I think that's what's sometimes missing in these press conferences is it's evident that some of the people in there don't care about what he says. They really aren't interested. They're just being sent there. They asked 2 or 3 questions.
Write an article around it and move on,
You know, at least Vinny will sort of come back and go, oh, well, on that. Because obviously Vinny is a player as well, isn't he? But he's interested in what the manager's saying. He responds. Too many of them, I think. The problem is... Well, live, Phil, if you want to come in and wave, Phil, that's fine, but, you know...
Phil Jevons.
We are live, yeah. Just doing a show, mate, not an issue. You going? Yeah. See, I will be in touch.
See you, mate. Take care.
Take it easy. Good to see you. Sorry, just Phil Jevons, former Everton striker there, doing something next door. Too many of them just don't care, do they? And it's not their fault, it's just a job, but I think that doesn't then come across in a press conference as if what the fans are.
And they're not focused on Everton. Most
no, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
in
saying.
particular.
And obviously you'll get Joe Thomas will do his after it, and that'll be more Everton focused, and then he'll write that up. But I just think sometimes that's why, because I've seen a few comments going, "What a vanilla press conference," and it's like, well.
The fella who asked a question about the acoustics of the stadium and you think it'll be noisy, and Moyes just looked at him and said...
His face, it was just like...
About 2 or 3 times he went like this. I'm ready to go now.
What do you want me to say?
If you've not watched it, people go and watch it. Just watch David's body language. It's tremendous.
David Eo says, behind the jolly exterior of Moyes, I think you can tell he's raging. Betty gave the players a good roasting after Monday.
He wasn't impressed with the first half, that's
They
for sure.
They were... Listen, let's be honest.
Abysmal.
We were poor on Monday. Second half was better, and we showed if it had been possible for us to do it from the kick-off, we'd have won the game.
Yes.
If we could have got a bit of control,
we weren't great in the second half. It was just just shows how poor Leeds really are. Yeah.
If we'd have just, well, I don't focus on what Leeds are a team that done very well in the Championship, got promoted. They brought in some players. The gulf between winning the Championship and being 17th in the Premier League is huge.
That's right.
Let alone above it. They're trying to bridge it. Whether I personally think the 3 promoted teams will struggle to stay up. But who knows? They might.
I think one might get out of it.
So. But possibly, and my money would probably be on Sunderland.
Ditto.
But doesn't necessarily mean they will, because West Ham could have been 3 up at half time. On Saturday. So you look at Leeds and go, but I'm just talking about from an Everton perspective. If we could have got a bit of control of the ball like we did in the second half, in the first half, I think we'd have probably gone on and won the game.
I agree.
But they were so much better than us in that first half. Some of it was what they were doing. Some of it was what we were doing.
A fair chunk of it was us. Unforced errors.
I always think that's a little bit harsh going that, because what we're basically saying is they done nothing and we were poor.
No, it's not binary.
They stuck to their game plan, which was press high.
High press.
We played into it, which just encouraged it. And what we did second half, we started using our head and moving them,
the ball around,
side to side. I think the manager will have given them a roasting. I think he will have done, because it wasn't good enough. They'll know it wasn't good enough. Most of those lads went and got really good results. Well, some really good results last season, away, particularly away. We didn't have the core, because he's moved on. But a lot of the other lads played. Okay, Dewsbury Hall wasn't in our team. He was a good player and he just played in the conference winning Chelsea side and other things. And he was in there. He's probably a better footballer than the core. The core is better at what? Like being rangy and the physical presence. We just fell below our levels, didn't we? And that was
a long way below,
And that, regardless of the result, and it doesn't matter how good or bad Leeds were, whatever. My big and even the penalty decision, my big disappointment was we were way below what our levels were. So it's about us now.
If the second half had been the first half, I think I'd have been stood on the terrace there thinking, well, we weren't great, but we're comfortable. We just need to up it a little bit in the second half and we'll win this.
I think if we'd have got out with 0-0, we'd have gone. We were a bit rubbish there, but we got a point.
First half,
put it in the bin.
We could easily have been out a couple down.
But I think, listen, there's no, I'm hoping Sunday.
It's history now.
I'm hoping Sunday we're right on it. I'm hoping Brighton turn up like we did at Leeds on Sunday, and it doesn't happen for them, because it's it's by hook or by crook stuff until this window, until we get what we need, get the points.
Just get points.
Just on, obviously the manager's just said no Michalenko there for Sunday.
I was surprised.
Obviously Jared Branthwaite, we knew. What are we thinking then? He said Asnu is trained today, which is good. So as long as he's got no reaction, he'll train tomorrow. And then he'll be back in the squad. Do you think he might go with Asnu, regardless, on Sunday? I mean, I'm saying regardless, as long as he hasn't had a reaction to being... Because he rolled his ankle, I think, which was why he missed the lead.
It's not in his DNA. It's not in his DNA.
Well, is it? Okay, well, let me ask you this then. Is it not just better to play a left back, whether he's ready or he isn't, rather than move your sort of only defensive midfield player and put him there? What would you do? Would you go?
So are you asking me? Are you asking Asnu or James Garner at left back?
Yeah.
Well, out of those two choices, Asnu.
You'd go with Asnu, despite...
Because he's the specialist, right? But I think he perhaps, and you talked about it last week, Dewsbury Hall may be a better shout at left-back. So if you then ask me, Asnu or Dewsbury Hall, I'd say Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah.
Because what David would be thinking is, no Premier League experience, young player, more of an attacking full-back, being injured.
And he's up against, it'll be Minter, who is quite quick and powerful.
Yeah.
So that's why he might leave James Garner there. But I just think if we're looking for balance...
Balance is all, right.
For Sunday, because I think that's what we need. I think away from home, you go and try and sit in or whatever. I know we all want we want Everton to progress to be, we'll go anywhere and take anyone on and beat them like the top teams, but we're nowhere near that yet.
Not yet.
And I get people got frustrated and people will go, and I've seen my opinion, some massive overreactions to Monday.
People do.
We were rubbish. No, can't hide behind that. We were rubbish.
Tell me
the
about
manager, if you turn all the cameras off, he'd have gone, we were terrible. Yes. He said it without saying it, hasn't he?
He has.
We improved second half, but we were still nowhere near it.
That's it.
And that's the level, right?
His second half reference is just compared to the first half. He's not saying that was acceptable either. So
right. And I want Everton to be the team when we go on away that we're on the ball and we're the ones and we win 3 and 4-0 away. I mean, they'd be unbelievable away games, wouldn't they, to do that? But I think at home, particularly Sunday, they're a really good side. Or they're a good side. But they're beatable. I mean, they beat us 3-0 last opening day at Goodison. Yeah, we were the better side in the first half. They scored on the break. We were 1 down. We got a penalty, which was then overturned. What a surprise, even though it was a penalty. Dom didn't dive. Dom stepped back to turn and Dunk slid for no reason whatsoever why he's sliding and took Dom's leg with him. But they said, oh no, because he put his foot on Dunk. That can't be a penalty, which is nonsense. And then Ashley Young give a shocking, back pass, or Garner's back pass, right? Then Ashley Young gets sent, and then it's game, and then
it was August, though.
It was August. But what I'm trying to say is, so even when they were really good, we were in that game, and we went and beat them away and all that. So they're beatable, but they are a very good side. I want the balance there on Sunday, and that balance.
So you pick Asnu then?
No, I'd probably go Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah.
I'd go Dewsbury Hall.
As I would, yeah.
I'd play him there. You've only gone with him because I'd suggested him earlier.
No, because you were is a better version than Dwight. I never even thought of putting Garner in there. I'd have put Dwight McNeil in against Leeds.
I'd have him there with the left foot to give us the balance. He can get forward because he likes to. He can put a good ball in. Be solid in midfield, and that's James Garner in 6.
So don't break up your DMs, basically.
Avadrisha ratting around. Maybe it's Charlie Alcaraz breaking from midfield, trying to get up and support either Beto or Barry, Jack Grealish on the left, and I'd have Illiman and
So you're going to put Barry in then as well?
On the right. Well, it's a toss-up. The manager might go, I'm going to give Beto another go. And see what's what. And I'm just wondering why you only give Barry 6-7 minutes plus stoppage time on Monday. It was a bit odd.
It was a bit odd.
It was a bit odd. But listen, I don't know how he trained. He might not train well, or he might have been carrying a slight. You don't know, do you? Yeah. You just get a team and go, that's not what I'd have probably gone with. But that's where I'd go. Mine would be, I'd try to get it as balanced as we could. And I'd say to Dewsbury Hall, try to get up and support. And Jake O'Brien, just be mindful, because he's up against, my opinion, their best player in Matoma. You've have to really look after him, because he's normally the key to the kingdom for them on that side. I just think if you've got a left back playing, a right-footed left-back up against a fast winger, and he's a midfield player, he's going to be worried a little bit about what he's doing, but he's got to always turn back onto his right foot, where I want the balance of being able to let a ball roll across your body and open up the whole pitch, even if you're just dropping things into channels for your forwards to run it. It makes a big difference.
Or a full-back on the left who favours his right because this guy cuts inside. Isn't that a balance as well? He's not going to go out the outside, is he, really?
Minter?
Yeah.
He tends to knock it past and cut across you.
Yeah.
Right, they've got Georgino Rutter up front, who's not amazing in the air.
That's what I mean.
So is he putting cross? He might cut inside. And this is sometimes what they look for and go, well, if he cuts inside, your right-footed defensive midfielder's on for a tackle.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
But if he goes on the outside of you, you're on the wrong side.
That's right, yeah.
You're in big trouble.
It's what your, call it scouting if you like, thinks he's more likely to do.
Yeah. I'm just saying what I'd like. I'd like the balance of the left footer. You know, I'd say play Dwight McNeil there and play Dewsbury all in midfield.
I expected Dwight McNeil against
My
Leeds.
only issue is Dwight up against real pace.
He hasn't got any, and he doesn't turn well either.
And he's not going to go too high up the pitch then because he'd be worried about a ball in behind only. Where I think Dewsbury all has played left wing back for Leicester, so he's got an idea about the defensive aspects of a bit more than Dwight. Not Dwight's fault. Because he's not.
So if you put Asnu in, who'd be in front of him?
Well, I think Grealish has got to play. At home, you want to be on. And I think the manager, in his press conference, hinted. He said... He
tried to deflect, didn't he?
Well, he just said Jack doesn't play 2 games in a week. Hasn't played 2 games in a week for a while.
Oh, I meant in this one. Yeah.
So, therefore, it's sort of, to me... Was,
you said that.
I was taking... He's saying he's playing on Sunday. And he couldn't play tonight and Sunday because he wanted to make
And if you want the...
I'm probably miles wrong.
If you want to cheer the crowd up, right? Which is part of it, you know, it's a marginal decision, then we see Grealish starting, we'll all feel a little bit happy than if we saw him on the bench.
Well, if you
I think we'd also be happier per se because of not just the playing the specialist, i.e. Asnu, but just the fact that's an offensive decision as much as anything. But your challenge then is that you've got Grealish and Asnu on that side and Michael Keane behind them. I just don't think that's the sort of risk that this manager would take. So I think you end up with, if Grealish starts, you don't get Asnu.
Asnu won't start.
No, I know. For all the reasons.
Because I feel like the manager will go, he's only been back in
That's what I mean. All the things, and the training's the easy
and
one,
he's up against the real pace winger.
So then you're into which of those specialist midfield players are you going to stick in there?
He might just stick James. I mean, James Garner did well the other night.
Did all right, yeah.
But Grealish should give everyone a boost, I think. But again, I don't know his fitness level, so...
Would that mean Tim plays then? I wouldn't have thought. If you're going to put...
Well, then Jaya have to play in the left. I don't know. He could play McNeil on the right and he could put...
But Garner goes left back. Who goes in it alongside Adrissa?
Well, Dewsbury Hall would be there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You'd have Dewsbury Hall, Adrissa, and then it could either be Alcaraz or it could be Irabunum still and Alcaraz on the right. He doesn't seem to really want to play Dwight McNeil on the right.
No.
We've tried him and hasn't even got him on the
If he
pitch.
doesn't start this weekend, you might get the message, might you? Yeah.
So, we'll see anyway.
Okay.
I'm just talking about balance. That's what I want. I'm just sort of looking about balance. But
So,
Alan says fully on board with us going for the best players available. However, if the indications were that they're not interested in coming to us, then we should have moved on to more realistic targets weeks ago. Maybe we have. I'm just worried now we'll be left short at the end of the window. You would have thought if you're going after a player, the player will tell you very quickly whether he... Because I've always maintained from information and from speaking to people who were involved in the things that a bid doesn't really come in if the player
all the dots are
closed.
lined up, yeah.
If the player, if the player just goes, no, I don't fancy
The
that.
old days of asking permission to speak to a player are long gone, aren't they?
Do you know what I mean? It's like very rarely does a bid come in and the player rejects the move.
That's true.
Only when a player sort of rejects the move, it's because he's going, I want 150 grand to play for you. And you go, I can only offer you 80. He just goes, I'm not moving to you.
Yeah.
And then he rejects. And so when, and I've always maintained this, once multiple bids come in, the player wants to come. And I'm not saying anything different. I said it last season with Brantwaite.
No, you did.
The minute United made 2 bids, Brantwaite was open to going to United.
Yeah. Well, she would be at that level.
Of course. When they said, we're going to triple your wages, and we'll give you this and we'll give you that and all that. Now, I look now and think, well, he's just signed a 5-year. He's quite happy to stay at Everton. And he said that, so that's good, because that means someone's gone, we want to be there, mate. We want you. And that's brilliant. So if Everton, if Everton have, and it's been reported, we've made a few bids for Dibbling, then it doesn't take a genius to go, the lad wants to come. See,
when I hear the manager saying, just based on my own experience at other industries, players have said no, then that's a cul-de-sac. You know, don't go down that cul-de-sac, right? If players have not said no, that's the hard one, isn't it? If they haven't said no, but they haven't said yes, that's your Fofana almost, right?
Yeah.
But all roads lead back to why haven't we done Dibbling then? It's not. You know, it's not because the players said
But,
no. Is it?
okay, what about this, John? Because you look at it from a more business perspective than me, because I'll go just emotional as a fan and go,
I can do that as
no,
well.
I know, but I don't want you
No,
to.
I know what you mean.
So if we've sat down in a recruitment team meeting, say,
we're on the beach having that,
right, we're just
chat,
there, and we go, Tyler Dibling, really good. His numbers look good, like he's improving.
Potential,
We like
blah,
his
blah,
physique.
blah, yeah.
He's a dribbler. He's this. He's that. He play on the right. Play 30 odd Premier League games. I don't think David Moyes has burst into the recruitment room going, "Get me Tyler Dibling."
No,
right? But
we know what his brief is: Premier League experience,
get me a 25-year-old,
yeah.
right? Not always, because he did it at West Ham, but I think he wants a level of performance. But I think he's looked and gone, yeah, okay, he's a good player and all that. But if they all come to an agreement and go, but he's not worth £40 million, like, what are we going to?
Yeah. What's our best and
just
final?
say 40 million's the Baffo from Everton.
Yeah.
Right? And we go 40 million. We're paid more than that because we are getting screwed over and the margins aren't going to be there and blah. But Everton really like him. The player wants to come.
Yeah.
What do you do in that situation if you think we're not paying 45 million and 25% sell-on fee? We're not doing it in Southampton.
Well, at this point, we don't know about the sell-on.
Yeah, no, but that's been reported. I'm just mean, if you're, because it's easy for me to go, just pay the money and get him in.
Okay, so you're the man, right? You're the chair.
Yeah.
You can play Angus.
Yeah.
Right then, and I'll be Nick or whoever does the negotiating. So top dollar, 40 mil, off you go. So I'm going to say to you, right, so we've got a base price we're prepared to pay. Inevitably, there's going to be some add-ons, and they might want to sell on because he's a young player.
Yeah.
So I want to know this last one. What's the most we're going to do on that, right? And so you say 40 is the answer. Is that total deal?
Yeah.
So that's guarantee plus add-ons. And then I go off to Southampton, they say 100 mil. I'll see ya.
Yeah. But clearly they haven't said that much, have they?
Yeah.
Because what's been reported by numerous people is Everton have made the bid.
So I go and do that. So how much of it is add-ons and how much of it is it base price?
Just say it's just for
35 and
just
5.
for simple things, like it's 40 million. You've done the
no
deal.
add-ons.
Doesn't matter. What I'm trying to get from you is where, like, Everton have put 40 million on the table,
right,
and have just left it and gone, that's sort of our baffle, mate. And they've gone. And Dibling and his agents are going, lads, I want to come. No, I'm there. And the agent's going, Southampton.
So they have come back, haven't they?
Budging.
They've come back and said, we want 5 in add-ons because we need it to be 45 and we want this 25% sell on.
And Everton are saying no.
And we clearly, to the latter one, definitely say no, because that's crazy, right? Now, then you need to be industry aware. Will anybody give these guys a 25% sell on? And if you're convinced the answer's no, what do you think the lunatics at Nottingham Forest or wherever would give? And do you think you might have to do that to get it over? Let's pretend it's 20. I'm just making it up, right? So you go, okay, we'll park that. Because if we never sell him, we never pay. Easy, right? And if we do sell, we have to build into the fact we've got to give them a fifth. So we'll always inflate it anyway, right?
And then that's only on profit, isn't it?
Only on profit.
Yeah.
Then you're on to the other two numbers, which is add-ons. It's quite normal to have add-ons, but we've slapped 40 down. I don't know, maybe that's just the teaser. So if I'm now Southampton, I quite like the 40. I'm cool with that. I want me 25% sell on, and we tell them to off, and we quickly, you would think, settle on a number that they're happy with. 20, just made it up. And they go, but what about the add-ons? We want add-ons, please. And we go, well, what do you want? Well, we'd like the number to be 50. Well, that's 10 million add-ons. So they're not going to be easy ones. But yeah, we'll give you 10 million.
But clearly Everton aren't doing that, are they?
No, they're not. They're not.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
So when you say 40, and I think we've talked about this before, I would go in, if I'm told by my bosses it's 40, and say, we're prepared to do business at 40, including add-ons, and the add-ons can be quite soft, and whatever we think, 20% sell on, or 25% sell on if it's within 18 months and it degrades, whatever. Just because it's all about deal shaping, right? So I'm intrigued by we've slapped a number down and then we've just left it.
Well, that's what's been reported.
Because
Everton haven't gone away.
Because that, you know what? I'll tell you, mate, in a negotiating environment, that's effing annoying. That the other party won't engage with you. They just go, bang, the number's 40. take it or leave it type behaviour. If Southampton haven't walked away, then that hard-nosed negotiating tactic might actually win the day, because they should say, you're taking the piss. We kept saying to Brandt, go away, go away. They can keep coming back if they want, but we just keep saying go away, right? They haven't said go away. They've come back with a counter-offer.
Yeah, it's mad.
So in a counter-offer situation, if I'm now the negotiator, I'm going, why would I accept that counter-offer? They're giving me all the selling signals and they're just trying to squeeze the last pence out of me. So I would then go back to the ranch, say, lads, Angus, whoever, David, I get this deal done today. It's going to cost $5 million more. Or we can run it to the wire and we might save that $5 million. What do you want to do? It's not me now. Yeah. It's not me now. Yeah. It's now somebody else.
Maybe that's where.
And Angus turns to Dave and said, what value would you put on having this guy today instead of in 3 weeks' time? And he might answer 9 points.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
You know, you'll get the money back in league placings. We just started with 0 points. Be interesting. I know I'll have a look later. If we'd had 3 points more last season, perhaps we'd have got $1.5 million more money anyway. You know what I mean? So, and that's why it has to be a consultant informed regime, and it has to be cabinet responsibility and all those sorts of things. Hanging the negotiator out to dry because he's been given a very clear field of play, and he's done the best he can with the what he was told. But you've still got to go back and say, well, they're not budging.
Well, maybe that's what he didn't hang him out.
But this is your point, which is really important. You said if the player says no, you find out quite quickly because he says no. Yeah. And if he says, let me think about it, you say, how long do you need? All that sort of stuff.
Well, I think that's where we are with Fofana.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't rejected it.
And once you get more inputs, you have to make deals happen. They don't happen by themselves. And there's always the danger, particularly in this sport, that someone from left field goes, you know what? There's a deal to be done there, just that Everton can't get it done. Mr. Levy, should we grab this one? You know? Yeah. Whether we need him or not, whether he'll play or not, whether it's really where he's going to get best development, all those sorts of things. He'll come to us, and you know we've got this asset that might appreciate significantly.
James says, he's quoted Moyes, it might be a difficult year for us. He says, I love Moyes, but what on earth does that message say to the fans? Do you think that's a message, again, a game-playing message? To say, if we don't get these deals done, we're going to struggle a little bit. I don't actually remember that.
I don't remember
that line, but he will have said it because James isn't. I don't think he's just making quotes up, is he? So, do you think that might be again another tame sort of? We need to get what we want because otherwise this isn't going to be.
I think
a good year for us.
To be honest,
or was he talking just about the transfer market?
I don't know because I don't recall hearing it.
Yeah.
So and again, I don't dispute what the lad says, but also it's open to interpretation. So whoever asked the question that got the answer, it could be a difficult year for us. They should have done the follow-up. And the follow-up's simple, isn't it? Which is, if you had to go with the squad you've got now, how difficult would the season be?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think there's a lot of value in second guessing, you know, everything the manager says, unless somebody says, what do you mean by that? You know?
I think knowing Moyes, that's just a tame little, I've told you what we need and we need to get it. It doesn't matter whether I'm including me in the we need to get these deals done.
I agree with that.
Because I've heard them say things like that before, and then it totally flips.
I would also second guess, you know, if you choose to, that's a half empty version of the interpretation. A half full version of it would be, if you give me what I want, we'll be shooting for Europe. If you don't, we won't. Yeah. That's a hard season for us. We're going to be 14th or 15th or 13th or whatever.
Listen to this. This is not even about Everton, but listen to this. John Percy tweeted, very worrying comments from Nuno Espirito Santo at Nottingham Forest today. Said he and owner Evangelos Marinakis are not as close and their relationship has changed.
Well, he did bound onto the pitch, didn't he?
I know, but he won their opening game last week, 3-1. Got new players in.
If the manager...
strange, that's a bit...
We don't know what goes on behind the scenes, do we? But if a manager wants to assert his authority, then he does... And we'll watch BWB about doing stuff in public. But that's often our last resort, that sort of statement, isn't it?
It's a bit weird, that, because he has got him players in.
My take on that would be the manager's really upset with the behaviour of the owner, and and he's capable of walking away if he has to, but he's got the fans on side.
The owner's capable of just sacking him tonight. After
Totally.
seeing that comment.
That's what I mean. So they need to flesh it out, but do it behind the doors.
Unless the owners, and it wouldn't put it past them as fancies a different manager.
Possibly. So he's deliberately
And
upsetting
go,
it.
right, let's see. Even though that'd be a bit mad, but I don't know.
Can't complain about the players he's got, surely.
No, he's just got some good players in there.
Yeah, he
hasn't
had a decent starting place, and the owners pitch him. Maybe the owners said, we now win the league now. So I think...
Surprise guest one says difficult year from Moyes just means we may have had higher expectations.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, but other interpretations are available, aren't they? That's the thing.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was going to ask Ped because he's had it so once.
Language, Timothy. Oh, that's all right.
I just think I've heard Moyes say things like this before.
Yeah.
And it's often been just a very tame way of going, you're asking me to do this and deliver these outcomes. If you don't, like you said before, if you don't get these, we ain't getting there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it now, and everyone, knowing we'll all pour over it. It might be a difficult year if we don't get what we want. It's a soft thing, isn't it? But we've heard this happened in Rome to the Friedkins with other man, and he went out and then there's money, just go and buy players, stuff like that. It happens at other clubs, loads of clubs. Glasner said it to Palace. Glasner was like, now they've sold Eze. So they've obviously gone and they've got El Canusin, haven't they, from Leicester, but he said the same thing. We need players. If you want to do what you want to do, you got to get the players in. Poor Marco's been saying it all summer, you know. But they'll bring 5 in Fulham before the deadline, because that's what they do. They do it every year, they're mad.
Because what managers know, and they should go right up to the line, and we can debate where the line is when you go too far. And again, I push my own bloody article again, but I think I said on BWB, just read the last paragraph.
If only there was an article where we could read
there is. It's all there. Just M-tag, go for it. But the last bit is fundamentally about the only leverage managers have is before the window closes. Because once it's closed, the club just go, oh, well, can't do anything till January, right? Yeah. And many a manager gets sacked between now and January, don't they? You know, and no manager wants that. And the expectation being set is one thing. But again, whenever we do the businessy side of it and BWB, we talk about, but there has to be you know, you have to pay a price, don't you? The manager will deliver this, but only if you deliver to him the resources to deliver that. Yeah. And there may be some subjectivity in the middle where either the ownership or the leadership, whatever you want to call them, say, we think you've got enough to deliver the outcomes we've asked for. And the manager say, no, I haven't. And he is one of the experts in the room, so who's going to challenge him? Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, I think Everton will get. I think Everton will get the players in they need. I think Everton will get a right winger in. I think he'll get 3 or 4. I don't know whether he'll get 2. I think he might be looking for a forward who can.
Oh, trade.
But he's also, don't forget, not that this is ideal because it isn't, but NGI can go out there if needed. True. I think he'll get a midfield player. I think he'll get a right winger in. I wouldn't surprise me if he gets another centre forward in.
What about full back?
And then I think he wants a right back.
Yeah,
I believe so.
So
yeah,
No, I think you're right. And if our audience were doing it in their own heads, they'd go, well, in a binary sense, come September the 1st, will we have all or the majority of what the manager wants? And you can only answer it yes or no. I'm with you with yes.
I think it will.
I also think we'll have to wait to see who the players are to see whether it could have been done quicker, won't we?
Of course, yeah.
And all this angst wouldn't have happened.
Loads of people are writing the comments. It hasn't been good enough because we haven't got what we needed. And we should be trying to do these deals a lot quicker, and we'd all be a bit... If we'd have got a couple more in and one was sort of a right-sided player and we had another, I think a lot of people would be going, I wonder who else we can get. And we'll be a lot calmer.
Yes.
But it's when you don't get what you need early on, as in you can look at that team and go, right, that's, I can see where the balance is. When that doesn't happen, people are already looking, going, well, the manager said that's what we need, why haven't we got it? And then you lose 50% of your defence, which means your team's weakened the game.
That's exaggerated everything.
It's a killer, because If Everton had gone out against Leeds with Branthwaite and Michalenko, and our back five was normal, and it's normally a very good back
solid
five.
one that performed.
And then we had the players we were available in midfield, so James Garner was able to play in midfield and all that, and we had a good balance. People still would have been disappointed. I'd have still been disappointed. People still would have been disappointed because you're thinking, we haven't, that thing takes us up another level. But I think that's just made everyone even worse. And I think the other thing as well is whether we want to accept this or not. I'm just going to talk for me. I don't speak for anybody else when I sit here and do this. We are still burnt from the last few years as well.
Always.
Of like, oh my God, this happens and then that happens and then that happens and that happens. I'll be honest, when the fixtures were made, I couldn't see anything other than an Everton defeat on Monday. And I said it quite, I didn't say it necessarily on camera because I never won it back against Everton, ever. But I was looking at that thinking, that's a game we can get beat. People are telling me it'll be 3 or 4-0. I'm thinking,
no way.
Nah, there's no balance and stuff. So it's happened, and I'm like, I could see that. And I don't want to see that. I want to be with these other people who are going to be 3-0 this. And then Everton turn up and it's 3-0. That's what I want to see. But you look at it and go, seen this before. And this normally plays out. And you know the thing that annoys me more than anything else? Everton do what you know they're going to do. Do you know what I mean? Well, sometimes you think they're going to win and they don't. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see it and go, that's a game we could lose.
It's gone now.
And then it happens and we get beaten. You go, we always do what I know we're going to do. And I want to get away from that feeling. We're only going to do that as we move forward. That's how a club does move forward, because it starts doing things differently than what it's done. But I think a lot of people, it feels like we talk to thousands of people every day on here. It feels like a lot of people are still going, this is typical. I've seen one here. The whole recruitment team needs binning. Well, a lot of the recruitment team are new.
And some of them aren't here yet.
And some of them aren't here. Do you know what I mean? It's not quite the same as what was in place. So that's a difficult one, isn't it? Because we're all looking going. But I do then sit there and go, every year we've needed like a proper right winger with pace. And no one's done it. It was like getting like someone to come in and paint your house, and no matter which one you get in, they keep painting it the wrong bleed. You go, oh, how's this happened again? You know, that's how it feels with Everton. It's like, we need power and pace. And every summer, the summer gets away from us with no power and pace. And it doesn't matter if power and pace is elite, Champions League level, unbelievable player, and we can't get that. We don't even seem to be able to get this one who can add a bit of power and pace. They mightn't technically be as good as this player. They mightn't be as creative as that, but it gives us an option. We don't even seem to get that other option. That's what I think. That's where my frustration lies.
No, and your frustration's valid, and there's a couple of things, because there always is. One is, you just said moments ago something like, we're going to have to do things differently, right? Which I wholeheartedly agree, because guess what? You do the same thing the same way and expect different outcomes. That's a bit mad, isn't it? You know, and it literally is, right? And the ownership changed 9 months ago, thereabouts. Yeah, maybe a bit longer.
Eight, yeah.
December time to, you know.
Yeah.
And
9, December, wasn't it? Yeah.
And you're describing an environment where your fear of Leeds was because that's what we would do, and you were right.
No, but just looked and seen.
Yeah, no. That's about a promoted team, and I had the same anxieties about it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But the historical stuff around, well, we never get any points in August. We're always crap at the beginning. We're always undercooked. Yeah. So when you're sitting in your office, wherever it is, Royal Library Building or somewhere, thinking we've got to change perceptions.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Perceptions are all right, because they're reality to most people, and that includes the players you're trying to attract. It won't have helped Nick Hammond or whoever it is that was just lost away to Leeds.
Yeah,
it won't have helped him at all. It won't have helped how shit we were in the first half. His negotiating, his trying to get deals over that, all gets that ever so slightly more difficult.
And the summer series, John, don't forget
all of the above. All of the above, right? So the very basic 101 stuff of how you turn strategy into actions to deliver outcomes, you have to say, well, either it's the old Mike Tyson thing, we've had a lovely plan till we got a smack in the face and then it falls apart, right? Or we haven't done it that way. We haven't done the 101 stuff, because football's different, all that reason. Because we know what we want, and this is where the fun starts with David Moyes, right? He said in the summer series, which already seems an eternity ago, we knew what we wanted, and we're failing in some departments, right? That's what he said. But the most relevant bit there is we know, and we've known all summer, what we want. So there's a massive question there about, well, why haven't we done it then? People have been suspecting or pontificating or musing or whatever you like over the last 2 or 3 days on social media. Oh, well, we haven't got the money. That's what the reason is. Well, we didn't believe that, and the manager said, kibosh that. We've got money. So it's something else. And so, David, perhaps...
the media had us linked with people like Nathan Ackey and Everton are sort of allegedly on
the blunt instrument.
And other players like Jamie Vardy. Apparently Everton aren't after Jamie Vardy. He was linked with us every single day.
Well, that's because the click-based media can see we're moving into desperate for numbers stage. Therefore, anyone who's available becomes a candidate, don't they? But the blunt instrument of the summer series of failing in some departments is now a much more subtle. It's not money. It's not me. Work out for yourself, and so on. And that's really difficult for the negotiator if that's what it is, right? Because all the targeting, all the insights and all that sort of stuff have already been done. And it's going to be crazy. It might be exciting, I suppose, right? But it's going to be crazy if in 2 weeks' time, everything we thought needed to be done has been done. But we've gone through this journey. And that has to be where the change has to be. And there are a lot of moving parts.
Be interesting for us on deadline day.
Oh, we'll have a great
24-hour live stream.
Every hour on the hour, we'll sign a new player.
Ken Sprayer on the super chat. Thanks, Ken. Says we gamble with our first 4 games every year. It is. Do you find it mad that? Not mad, because I think in other years maybe it has been, but it does feel sometimes like we almost write the first few games off and go, right, we'll start in September. I don't think they look at it and go, our aim's to lose the first 3. Not that, it's nothing stupid like that, but just the way it all plays out seems to lean into that, doesn't it?
I think there's a culture in the industry, and whether it's more acute at Everton or not, I don't know, that while the transfer window's open, it's all a bit hit and miss.
It's not just Everton, other clubs. You can say about half the clubs.
And therefore there seem to be more managers whinging this time than previously. So the market itself has been skewed by people splashing huge sums early on, none of it which really trickles down into making things happen for the rest. So that's part of it. But there's always that it's more acceptable to lose games in August than it is to lose games at other times, because you've got more ready-made excuses. And I'm very conscious I'm deliberately not using the word reason. Because if we had a plan that said we need to fill these roles or need to fill them by these dates, no such plural of dates. What do we give the manager to go on tour with? What do we give him for the last pre-season friendly? What do we give him for the first league game? What do we give him before September the 1st? Then and they've tried to execute that, then that's a lot better than, well, as long as it's all right on September the 1st, that's fine, because you've still got 3 games in between that you have to win or at least get points out of. We don't want to be here, do we? Next week we've lost the first 2 games again, right? And then we're going away, right? And before you know it, there you go. Told you, I was right not to go to Everton. There they are, back in relegation trouble again. It's not the end of the world. Crikey, we've had Arsenal lose 3 games on the bounce at the beginning of the season and still ended up in the top couple. Guess what? They've got quite a deep squad and it's just poor performances. But if it's once that window's closed, the manager has to go with what he's got. So he's going to we thought he's been a bit challenging recently. It's going to be worse next week if stuff hasn't happened. And the safety net of all of that is beat Brighton. It all seems a bit easier.
It chills all of us out, because you've got 3 points off on the board. Relax and you look and think we can do better.
Absolutely. And we're going to get inbounds, which will make us better again. And we're going to get injured players coming back after the break.
Just go and get Dylan Backway at Strasbourg. Just go and do it right now.
Like this afternoon, Baz?
Yeah, just get it.
Just pick up the phone.
30 million, just get him in. Fast, can go right, left, can score. 21, get him in. Just get him in. But I actually think, I still sort of think we'll end up with Tyler Dibling. I think that'll happen.
If I got the binary question, I'd be saying yes as well. But then I'm an optimist, so.
I'd love getting it. I'd rather still have Backway out there too, to be honest with you, because he sort of suits what we need right now.
He's closer
I think
to ready.
Dibbling would be a great player. We probably make loads of money on him as well eventually, and he can play in other positions. I mean, you heard Russell Martin saying he actually thinks he'll be an 8 or a 10. But they've got him in the team out there because he's good.
There's lots of references there, isn't there? You know, about...
So, but I'd have Bachman just for pace.
Who
would have been good for pace, but he's not if Leicester are asking 35 million for him. With 2 ACLs in 3 years, you can't be doing that. So
you test it, don't you? If he's on your list,
I think he did. I think they offer 50, or they spoke about 15, 18 million, and they were like, no, we want at least 10 more.
That might change, mightn't it? Okay.
I don't know, because I don't know if they get rid of James Justin, sell him. They've sold Ndidi. They probably don't, and they're selling El Khanouche for 32 million. They're in no rush to sell. They don't need to sell anyone else. So
they need to be careful. They've got a points deduction coming as well, haven't they?
So if they keep continually selling players, then
no, I mean
that'll
from
kill
past,
them.
never mind current.
No, I know, but I'm saying that'll kill them, won't it?
Yeah.
If you're getting the points deduction and you're
start at
selling
minus 10 and you've lost players, yeah.
You've no way out of that, is there? But right, find a little refresh here.
Good.
Jake says Moyes is cutting a frustrated figure at the moment. Got to get some signing in for numbers alone, and back the manager to get good
Looked quite
players.
chilled today, didn't he? In the grand scheme of things, though. He wasn't in angry mode.
I think he might have been told.
Well, he's been there before, though.
He sort of hinted that
believing
he
things
felt
are going to
like
happen.
something's happening without saying it.
Yeah. That's where I was coming from. Yeah. But he's been there before.
Yeah. Well, he did say to us, didn't he, in
Yeah.
the States, being told this a few times.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened. So, but he did feel like, and listen, maybe he sort of knows that Dibbling is getting done. It's like quite close now, and you just don't know, do you?
We're allegedly talking again.
Neil says, regarding Nuno Espirito Santo, Postecoglou has been linked as one of the favourites. Greek connections.
For Forest.
Greek, isn't he? Yeah. Jake says Thierry Barry should have started against Leeds and should start against Brighton. It's the only way the lad will progress is by playing games. Professor Poopy Pants says, listening to Toffee TV while on the car park, that is the M1. Please could you say hello to Amelia and Michael Poopy Pants, because that's their embarrassment. Hearing this will brighten up my mood. There you go.
And we answered your BWB question.
We did. Amelia and Michael, hello. Everton Viking says, if he wants Asnu to grow and learn, he has to play. He's the left back for the future, but he only gets that by playing games, even if it's hard. Dewsbury's not a left back and would struggle. McNeil can't tackle, has no pace, no ability to mark. Let the lad we've bought play. Fair enough, mate. I'm not sure that'll happen, but
me neither.
But he is if he's played in La Liga there. It's not like he's only played now under 18.
That's true.
But we'll see. We will see. Rai Wren says, my first child is due in February, and I'm genuinely debating on whether to let them support this depressing Everton era.
It's not optional.
I'm 31 and I've never seen anything remotely worth shouting about in that time.
What was weird is I actually thought they were going to say, I'm debating whether to call it Baz or Ped.
Well, I mean, that's even...
I did think of a name, but it wasn't Baz or Ped.
Let them support City or something if you want them to have a life where they're not depressed. But there is always that hope that it might flick forever, and then it'll be well worth and well more, rewarding than just picking these money clubs. So there you go.
Will Asnu go to the AFCON?
Don't know.
Plays for Morocco.
No, I know he's playing for Morocco. Yeah, well, he will do, yeah.
Yeah.
He will do, yeah. Because he's just got in there. He's in their squad, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think
He hasn't played this year for them, though.
No, but he was in the squad. He was named in the squad.
Was he? Okay. That's
So, well, if he's in the squad, he'll go, yeah.
Yeah.
But Michalenko's not African, is he? So.
No.
And we've only had one left back for about 4 years, so we go back
Just
to one
curious.
left back for 4 weeks.
Just curious.
Yeah. But he should do if he's done enough to get in their squad, and that'll be his aim, won't it?
Yeah.
I think, aren't they? They qualify for the World Cup as well, I think. I'm sure he mentioned the World Cup in his interview as well. So, yeah. Anyway,
Happy
let's
days.
go. Listen, everybody. Let's all keep the faith I realise I'm saying this to myself as well when I say that, but I'm sure Everton are working hard to get them in. I'm sure they'll get in what they need. But Toffee boy, yes, let's just say yeah. Says, Will, do you think we'll win another trophy in our lifetime? Let's say yeah. Let's stay positive. Have a fantastic weekend. Have a great time at Hill Dickinson Stadium on Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a big fanfare as well. Let's get off to a winning start there. It doesn't matter how it is, but let's get off to a winning start there.
And you can't take your flags home this time.
Can you?
Mm.
There you go.
Them
There's a flag there for you.
For everybody.
Oh, there's actually 50. Yeah, there's going to be a flag for everybody this weekend. So let's go and win it. Have a great weekend.
The match preview will be out within the hour, and it's a special.
Yeah, so check that out. Check that out. Right, take it easy. See you later. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.